That's other screen is, yeah, I see.
Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Vasquez, Dr. Nelson Vasquez from Central Florida. This is the right. I have an open window here. Uh, I'm in Central Florida. Please put in the chat where you're watching from. And welcome to the Kiltz Health live stream at 3 p.m. Today, we have Jenny Mitich with us.
Hello, hello.
Most of you know already Jenny. She's been in our different, whether Zoom calls or morning calls, a couple of times here in the afternoon as well. And we're going to have a good conversation here. Put in the chat any questions you may have for her. Please put QQQ in front of it so I can see them quickly and easy. This morning, 2 people told me that we're going to be here. I don't know if
they're here or not.
So, yeah, they're not here yet.
Yeah. It's all good.
But Jenny, let's start with something simple. Just tell us about who you are, but I want you to give us, and of course, you can see Jenny's book in the thumbnail. You can see Jenny's book in the back. And you can also see it here. I'm not going to be holding it here for too long because this thing is heavy.
You could lift weights with this thing. Yeah. Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Do your curls with it.
And but I'm interested in you telling us, you, among other things, you tell your story here.
Sure.
And even though I knew many parts of that story, I was surprised when I read. Anyways, we can talk about whatever you want to talk, but
sure.
As well. But let's start with that, a little bit of who you are, how long you've been carnivore, and what you do.
Sure. Yeah. In my book, I do my intro. You're talking about that part where I don't think you knew everything about my story. It's been quite a whirlwind.
Yes. Yeah. I did not know everything, but I did know some parts because I've listened to you enough that I did know some parts. But wow.
Yeah. Anyways. Crazy story. As far as carnivore goes, I've been carnivore for almost 3 years. It's my 3-year carniversary at the end of this month. And my husband, I always credit him. He's the one who found it. He found Dr. Ken Berry on YouTube and he said, Jenny, we need to do this diet. Will you do it with me? And I said, absolutely not. You're insane. There's no way you can get all the vitamins and minerals you need eating only meat. But I watched the videos with him over the next 6 months and it kind of soaked in. And I was having a really hard time losing the 70 pounds that I gained when I was pregnant with our twins, Max and Harry. So I finally decided.
His fault, of course.
What now?
I said his fault, of course.
Oh, of course. 100% his fault. Yes. Everything is his fault. He knows that in our household, everything is his fault. But so I gave it a try. And the very first month I lost 8 pounds and my glucose went from the low 100s on average to the low 80s. Complete normalization of blood glucose. And I was hooked and I've been on it ever since. And I've lost a total of 55 pounds. I have mental health improvements. I used to have anxiety and depression that I treated, self-medicated with drugs and alcohol in my teens and 20s. Former heroin addict. I've been clean for 15 years. All of that is gone. Mental health stuff completely improved. And feeling really good. That's why I stick with it. I if it wasn't working, I wouldn't do it. I guess that's be true of anything.
All right. So I already have a question here. So
yeah.
let's take a look at that. And Thankful Pam, how do you keep track of all your labs? Oh, but I haven't even mentioned the queen of testing
That's me.
moniker that I gave you, right? I now have results from 4 labs. Do you use Excel or other template?
That's a really great question. I'm looking at my labs when I'm doing N of 1 experiments. So I have everything, I'm old school. I have everything printed out and I just refer back to it as needed for each specific experiment. I do before and afters. But I would recommend using Excel or some other spreadsheet app or software if you're trying to track everything from 4 different labs and keep an eye on it so that you can see what's improving or declining as you're trying to improve your metabolic health. However works best for you to organize it.
Now, on the topic of testing and tracking, do you have to track to do carnivore?
Oh, absolutely not. But I love it. I think you need to measure something if you're going to try to improve it, right? You could measure how you feel. You could measure by the clothing, get a tight piece of clothing and see as it starts to fit you as you continue on carnivore. You don't have to do blood work and all that stuff, but I like it. I think it's fun, as you know.
So not everybody needs to be tracking, but especially if you're trying to reverse problems, sure. You can certainly do with carnivore and or very low carbohydrate diets. Yeah. It is very helpful to reverse several conditions. We're not going to be doing a class on how many, but there's a long list. So yes, if you're trying to reverse any of those things, you might want to track a few things.
Yeah, I agree.
So since Goran started, have you used him as a guinea pig?
Yes, Dr. Nelson, many times. We're actually still currently running an experiment on him. I used him as my guinea pig and I presented the data at the Collaborative Science Conference this last February. That has been an interesting rabbit hole we've been going down with him because for Goran, he wasn't having success with a traditional carnivore diet. He was not losing weight. His metabolic health was not improving. It was actually declining. And we had to dial a few things and make a few tweaks. And now he's down to 213 pounds I think he started at 270 when we started carnivore.
And he's looking pretty good. I just saw him anew recently.
Yep, now, Your Health.
Did you call it the Goran protocol?
The Goran protocol. No, I don't think we had a name for it yet, but we should. No, it's just like a lipotoxicity protocol, basically.
There you go. All right. So tell us about, and in the book, half the book probably is a bunch of recipes. Very good.
Sure.
For those I don't know if many carnivores really miss pizza, but if you want to make a pizza and you don't want to use things that don't come from animals, what can you use?
Oh, man. So many things. You could do a ground chicken crust. You could do a ground sausage crust, an Italian sausage crust. You could do ground beef. Really, you just need to have something that will, be substantial and be able to stand up to everything you're putting on top of it. You're right. I don't really cook pizza ever. But those recipes, those specific ones that are more like replacement recipes for standard American staples, those are meant to be like a bridge for people that are coming from standard American and just cannot imagine their life without like Friday night pizza. So gives people some options. But yeah, I mean, for me, I'm pretty boring. I eat steak and chicken and pork, and that's pretty much it.
When I started doing a more strict ketogenic diet, I knew for many years of Atkins and low carb and all that, but of course I had not applied it for very long time, so staying on it because I always used it as, all right, I'm going to lose some weight, and then as soon as I achieved my goal, I would go back to eating the way I was eating. But when I started, I was looking for substitutes. Okay, I do cook for the past several years, definitely since the pandemic and before. Uh, I'm the main cook in the house. Uh, for most of our first, I don't know, 30 plus years of marriage, it was usually her because there were kids in the house and I was outside the house, but past several years have been the cook. And I started experimenting with the lookalikes and the substitutes and trying to, you know what? At the end, I pretty much got tired of that. And then when I went carnivore, it became so much easier to cook. And we're
Yeah.
planning a Christmas family dinner. Christmas Eve is going to be all meat.
Wow, that's awesome. I love that. For the whole family, how many people are you going to have?
Just the immediate family, my son who's married, and uh, my grandson,
Awesome.
and the one coming. We don't even know boy or girl yet, but there is
Yay.
another one coming.
Oh, so cute. Oh, I love babies.
Anyways, and my other children that live still with me and my wife. It's gonna be a small thing.
Nice. That'll be fun, though. And Dr. Nelson's wife, Nellie, is amazing. I love her to death. Tell her I said hi.
Yes, I actually told her I'm gonna be with Jenny this afternoon, but she had to go out for something. So
Aw, that's all right.
I wanted to at least say hello here.
Yay. She's great.
She did tell me that talk to you at Hack Your Health, and she was looking through the book and the recipes and all that.
Nice.
All right. So this is the question I already brought up. Let me get rid of this. I have another question here. Is there any supplements you should not be taking with creatine?
I can't think of anything offhand. I normally take my creatine with my electrolytes in the morning, so I'm not really taking it close to any other supplements, but that's more just a product of when I drink it, not really intentional.
There is a supplement that many carnivores still take that is not animal based. It's called coffee. And some studies show that taking creatine with your coffee may negate some of the benefits of the creatine.
Good to know.
So it is best to take it. If you drink coffee, then just have it apart from each other, maybe an hour or so.
Now, is that decaf and regular or just regular coffee?
I haven't looked more into it because I still might put it in my coffee sometimes in the morning. But the truth is, there's at least one study, maybe more, where drinking it with coffee. So I don't know if it's the coffee or if it's the caffeine
Right. Yeah, that'd be a good question. I should figure that out.
I'll dig into that a little bit more. But I've seen those reports, and
yeah.
So I have water here with some creatine and some exogenous ketones as well.
Nice.
I had a concussion about 3 weeks ago. It took me
Oh,
9
no.
days. Took me 9 complete days to feel completely recovered. I was a mild thing. It wasn't a severe head injury, but
yeah,
I kept having symptoms it was on the 9th day was when I said, okay, I feel better.
Oh, finally. Good. I'm glad you're okay.
And adding some ketones and creatine was part of what I was doing.
So for that protocol, how much creatine are you taking?
I take usually 10 grams.
Okay.
in the morning, and sometimes I take another 10 grams in the afternoon if I have time, or if I remember, because
Right.
sometimes I even fill this up and I may not finish it, but trying to do people who are taking it for the muscle bodybuilding crowd, sometimes say 5 to 10. You have to go a little bit higher dose for the brain benefits.
Yeah, for the cognitive benefits, I've heard 20 to 25. I take 20, split into 2 doses per day.
So I try to do the 20 a day, but sometimes I forget
Yeah.
that second dose. Usually in the
Same.
morning it's easier to remember. I gotta do this.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this is my second 10 of the
There you
day in this.
Getting it in, Dr. Nelson, getting it in.
If you have any more questions, please put them in the chat. And let me take this out. Checking Instagram because those questions don't come through here. Okay. So you have something called a carnivore timeline in your book.
Yes.
Okay. Take us through that.
Okay, so the carnivore timeline is in chapter 3, I believe. And basically what this does is it takes you through what to expect on a carnivore diet. It starts off with a 4-week carb reduction plan. There are some people that it's in your best interest to not go cold turkey into carnivore. So I walk you through that. But then if you are just, going straight in, there's a whole chapter about month 1, kind of talks about basic advice for getting started. Eat until comfortably stuffed, only eat when you're truly hungry, drink enough water, and make sure you have electrolytes on hand. But then that's kind of the overarching basic carnivore advice that we see everywhere. But a lot of people, that doesn't necessarily work for them. They want a little bit more guidance, like how much protein should I be eating? How much fat? Calories. Like I know, we always talk about, calories don't really matter. It's a little bit more complicated than that. Some people just need a goalpost, So we go a little bit into all of that. Fat to protein ratios. Who would benefit from higher protein? Who would benefit from higher fat? We talk about calories. We talk about the protein. We talk about what to expect in the first month. What will you run into? How often should you eat? Should you snack? And then it goes into month 2, month 3 through 12, and then 1 year and beyond. Because some people stay on carnivore for the long term. I mean, I'm a 3-year carnivore. How long are you?
I'm approaching 900 days.
Great. Yeah. So you can do it for the long term, so you need to kind of know what to expect throughout. So that's what chapter 3 covers.
Okay. See, 896 days to be exact. So
nice.
I am approaching 900 days in 4 more days. And definitely, how strict are you as far as, and we don't need to get dogmatic here, sure, because everybody's there on their own journey, and you eat what you want. You don't have to come down on the side of being too strict, or might be sometimes being too loose is not beneficial for you. But how strict are you as far as carnivore? Do you have your days where you're not as strict?
Yeah, so it depends on if I'm doing an experiment or not, but typically pretty strict. We do a keto cheat meal once a month, Gordon and I, so we'll have like a salad or some asparagus, Brussels sprouts, or something like that. But it's not anything like off the rails. Like I couldn't do a bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch and some bread. I would die from the gluten. It would immediately affect me. So yeah, I stay pretty strict. Just because I have to. I feel my best when I do. But strict for me is all meat, all seafood, eggs, and butter. I cannot do dairy unless it's raw dairy. And I just have a shipment coming today, so that's exciting. And I can't do gluten. It literally just throws me off for days and days and days. So that's why I like to stay strict. But I'm also not the carnivore police. I drink coffee. I use supplements. I use seasonings. and I use like Primal Kitchen ranch dressing or their buffalo sauce with my chicken wings. So in that way, I wouldn't say I'm like super strict.
So what supplements do you use? And I suspect that since you like tracking and testing so much, you may have some reasoning behind the supplements that you're using. Some people, and I say that because some people, they just take supplements because they hear someone say,
Right.
oh, give you an example, iodine. Everybody's deficient on iodine. Well, actually, everybody's not deficient on iodine. So
Right.
if you're going to take iodine as a supplement, my opinion should be just a few drops on a regular basis. But if you want to know you're deficient about iodine, then test, don't guess, right?
Right. Well, yeah, you know me. I test everything. So I'm working with a functional medicine practitioner for my Hashimoto stuff. So a lot of the supplements I take are based on that, blood work levels, and also optimizing for healing from Hashimoto. So I'll take like selenium, I take a zinc and copper, I take a B complex, a methylated B complex. And a lot of people, I get this comment a lot on my videos because I'll do like what I eat in a day, and I'll show the supplements that I take. And I get a lot of comments like, why are you taking B vitamins if you're eating so much red meat? And the answer is I have an MTRR gene mutation, similar to an MTHFR gene mutation, where I don't methylate B vitamins very well. So I was seeing in my testing before I took the B complex that my B12 and my folate was low, not like tragically low, but pretty low for the amount of meat that I consume. And my homocysteine was a bit elevated. Those are both really good indicators that you have that gene mutation. About 40% of the population does. So I just give my body the methylated form of the B vitamins, make sure it's a really clean one that has all the correct forms of the B vitamins that are bioavailable. And I don't have to worry about that anymore. So there's that. I do take iodine occasionally, and I agree with you on that. You need to test, don't guess, and also make sure that you're taking a really clean iodine because a lot of them are contaminated with heavy metals, and you don't want to be taking heavy metals every day. So there's that. I've been experimenting with methylene blue. That's been fascinating. Creatine, I do that daily, and I do electrolytes. And I think, I take a D3 and a K2 as well.
Very good.
Yeah.
Talk to us about visceral fat.
I love visceral fat. I don't love it. Like I don't want any, but I love DEXA scans. Yeah, I love the subject because so many people don't know what it is. And it's like the most sneaky kind of fat that's on your body. You can't see it. It's inside your body, around your organs. And it's the most dangerous kind of fat that you can have. We can have a lot of the fat on the outside, the subcutaneous fat, and we might not like how it looks, but that's actually not as bad for you as the fat that's inside your body, around your organs, because that fat's not supposed to be there. The best ways that you can measure for that is DEXA scans and MRIs. DEXA scans are cheaper and more readily available. You don't need a referral from a doctor to go do that. A body composition DEXA scan, and it's one of the most accurate ways you can measure it. I think for that, I think everybody should be getting a DEXA scan at least once, so they can at least see what they're working with. My husband, with the grand experiments that we do on him, we usually get a DEXA once a month for him. We've taken his visceral fat from 9 pounds down to 4. And we're hoping at this next one, it'll be into the 3s because he still has some lingering glucose issues, even eating a carnivore diet. And I think the visceral fat is a huge driver for that. So we're trying to get him to under 1 pound.
Okay. Well, on that subject and strategies to decrease the visceral fat, I do have a question about that, but what is one of the many things you guys are doing? And I'll say the word fasting because I think that's part of his basically protocol.
Oh, so yeah.
Tell me about that fasting and the benefits of fasting in regards to the visceral fat.
So fasting is one of the biggest levers that he pulls. For him, a normal carnivore diet was not effective on its own. he has to incorporate fasting as well. So he'll do, I think he's on day 4 of a water fast right now. He's going to be fasting until the 18th. So that'll be like a 10, 11 day water fast. So he'll try to do one of those per month. And then the rest of the time, he just does slightly lower fat carnivore diet. So like 65% fat to 35% protein. And then he does strength training and some zone 2 cardio. Those 3 things together have been really, really effective for him. But it's only when he does those long water fasts consistently, at least once per month, that he sees serious results. And if he doesn't do those, his weight goes up and his numbers go down, his glucose and all those things. So
are those always 10 to 14 days, or does he do like shorter?
Yeah, it depends on what's going on in our lives. Like right now, we're in between 2 family dinners that we have to go to, the 4th and the 19th. So he always likes to do a long fast in between these 2 because right before the holidays. But yeah, if we don't have a lot going on, he really sees a lot of benefit from the 10 to 14 day. I think that isn't going to be what everybody needs to do. A lot of people could just do like a 36-hour fast a few times a week, or like here's the thing with water fasting. It's like the first 3 days suck. They're the hardest. But once you get past day 3, it gets easier. So it's like, why stop at day 3? That's his rationale, you know. But he's been fasting since 2015, 2016. So he's experienced, and this is just what works best for him.
Okay. How about you? Do you do any type of fasting?
I don't do water fasting. Right now with the Hashimoto's, I don't feel good when I do that. I can do sardine fasting. I can do like a protein sparing modified fast that I can do really easily. I did last winter, I did a carnivore bar experiment where I only ate carnivore bars. It's basically fat fasting for 14 days. But yeah, I can do that. But water fasting, the longest I've ever done is 37 hours.
Okay. And how long have you been doing a sardine only challenge?
The longest is 14 days.
14 days. Okay.
Yeah. I was so sick of sardines after that. I was like, no more, please.
So did you do any testing after those 14 days of sardines? And
oh, yeah.
What were the results?
Yeah, that was really fascinating. I have on my channel 7, 10, and 14-day sardine fast experiments where I do before and after DEXA scans and blood work and continuous glucose monitoring. Sardine fasting, I lose so much fat. So much fat. It's incredible. I think the most I've ever lost is 8 pounds of fat in, I think, the 14 days. I'd have to go back because, again, that video is like a year old, so I don't quite remember. But yeah, your glucose is down in the 70s. My fasting insulin is usually pretty low anyways. My triglycerides super low. I lose fat like crazy. And visceral fat too. The visceral fat really declines. I lost like 1/2 pound of visceral fat during the 10-pound sardine fast, 10-day sardine fast. In just 10 days, I lost 1/2 pound of visceral fat. It was incredible. So that's why I like sardine fasting. I'm still eating, so I'm not like suffering, but you're not eating enough you're tapping into your own fat stores.
And I think as far as whether it's weight loss you're looking for, increasing your ketones numbers, losing visceral fat, a sardine fast might be better than a water only fast if you're able to do it. And some people can't. But it's akin to a protein sparing modified fast because you're having enough protein, and some studies do show, or some people who do tracking as well can show that there is less muscle loss.
Sure.
Doing the sardine, there is enough fat. I mean, it's just that some people cannot do too many days of sardines.
I think, the sardines, that it's a self-limiting food. There's only so much you can eat because it's filling, but also it's sardines. So like, unless you're one of those people that just love sardines, it's going to be a little bit challenging. I do find the first few days, if I'm doing a long one, to be like, ugh, but then you just get used to it. I have not seen any significant lean mass loss doing a sardine fast. I pretty much stay within a pound or two of my lean mass reading. It's interesting because when I did the carnivore bar experiment with 14 days, which was more fat, I saw more lean mass loss and less fat loss. Whereas with the 14-day sardine fast, I lost mostly fat. It was drastic enough of a difference. And I always make sure I'm measuring the same. Like I always eat and drink the same thing beforehand. I go to the same DEXA. I have the same tech doing the DEXA scan. I make sure to same time of day. I control everything so it's as close as possible. And that was interesting to me. So yeah, it's a good way to maintain lean mass, to have similar effects to a water fast with the glucose lowering and the increase in ketones and the fat loss. But you are eating something throughout, so you can maintain the lean mass.
Skin and bones or no skin and bones?
A mix of both. I don't mind them. The bones are really good for getting calcium
Yes,
on a
they
carnivore
are.
diet.
I always recommend skin and bones because some people try to look for the sardines but no skin and bones, and they're losing half the benefits, I think, right there.
Yeah, and a lot of people get weirded out by the bones, but the bones are super soft. You can't even tell you're eating them. It just don't look at it if it weirds you out. But yeah, there's not a ton of good solid calcium sources on carnivore unless you're consuming bones, and it's an easy way to do it. You can eat 1 can per day and get what you need.
How about water or oil?
I mean, obviously avoid vegetable seed oils and try to get olive oil. If you're going to do the ones in oil, there's no way that you can guarantee the quality of the oil used or if it was possibly cut with other oils. I mean, water, if you want to be the safest, I always do olive oil. I do the ones in oil, unless I find a really yummy one in water.
So I usually get the water ones and I drain the water, and then I may add butter, for example, among other things. I might put a little bit of a mustard or some other spicy, sometimes even hot sauce a little bit.
Yeah.
Just to change the flavor a little bit. The longest I've done sardines is 3 days.
Okay. Yeah. And 3 days is more than enough. I mean, you saw probably big improvements in your ketone levels, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty quick. So like if you're trying to jumpstart your ketones, Dr. Boz talks about this all the time. Start off with a 1 to 3 day sardine fast, and that'll get you a nice good bed of ketones. And then you can start up with your low carb diet again. And if your ketones tank, then you need to start eating a little earlier in the day or maybe change up what you're eating a little bit. So there's lots of clues there.
Since you mentioned Dr. Boz, on her 21-day course, she has people doing a sardine 3-day challenge before she even suggests a 3-day water fast.
Yeah.
Only fast. Water only fast.
Yeah.
Because of that same reason, sometimes it is more effective to get you in ketosis and the benefits than doing just a water fast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, totally agree. I think water fasting is great, but a lot of people have a mental block to it because like, I don't know if I can go that long without eating. You can, especially if you're fat adapted, but it's just so much easier to do a sardine fast. All you have to get over with that is the taste of the sardines, but you're still eating. So.
Yeah. All right. So electrolytes, Ryan Airy, I don't know. What is the appropriate amount of electrolytes to have in a day?
That's so individualized. Everybody's a little different. There's some people that don't do any electrolytes. There's some people that do like 7 grams of salt per day, which is like 7 element packets. You kind of have to play around with it and figure out what works best for you, where you feel your best. And then it depends on climate too. If you're out in the summer doing yard work for hours and sweating, you might need more. For me, I'm good with like 1 to 3 packets per day. Sometimes I'll go weeks without having any, and then I'll go hard on them for a while. So it just depends.
Most of the time, I personally just add salt, but we have some electrolytes in the house, and everybody likes them, but not everybody likes the same one at once.
Yeah.
So, uh, all right.
Oh, I will say though, for electrolytes, if you're in the beginning of carnivore, transitioning over, make sure you have some on hand. I think they're the most important the first month or two on carnivore while your body gets adjusted to a new fuel source. That is my only caveat.
Do you know why that happens?
So when you stop eating carbohydrates, your body releases a lot of water, and with the water go electrolytes. So you need to make sure that you're replacing them while your body kind of gets adjusted to this new fuel source of fat and protein only.
So, our body, it's up to 70% water, right? But we don't have any space in our body where water is just pure water. It's not distilled water, it's not filtered water. It's water with a bunch of electrolytes, okay, of all kinds. The most common ones, of course, sodium, chloride, potassium, magnesium, but a bunch of other minor electrolytes. And water never moves by itself. So when you're shedding liquid in your urine, it comes with electrolytes. It doesn't come by itself. And the first few days of a change, especially for those that jumped right into it and went hard on a ketogenic or carnivore diet, you're going to have a lot of diuresis, and you may have the keto flu, which is basically an adaptation of your body. Uh, you can probably call it carbohydrate withdrawals.
Right.
All right. I think you answered this question before, but uh, what supplements do you use?
Yep. Yep. I went through all of those. Do you use any supplements, Dr. Nelson?
A few. I use an organ blend, grass fed organ blend. I also use omega 3. I also eat, yesterday I had salmon.
Nice.
Uh, so I eat salmon probably once, well, at least twice a month, maybe a little bit more often.
Yeah.
And I already mentioned I have the creatine, and sometimes I use some exogenous ketones. Those
Nice.
are the main things that I use. All
Sweet.
right. So this is a comment that someone made, but I brought it up because uh, congrats, Donna Ray. I'm about 335 days. I started in early January 2025, but don't know the day because I never intended to stick with it.
That's so great. Yeah.
I wasn't sure if I was gonna stick with it,
Yeah.
but it took me like 3 days to feel that elation and absolute no hunger when I woke up. Now I had been doing pretty much uh,
Keto.
strict keto, probably not even 20 grams a day for about 6 months.
Nice.
But I've never had the keto flu, never ever,
Jealous.
and I've done Atkins multiple times, never had keto flu. But I was already basically doing mostly meat when I went carnivore. It just took me 3 days uh, to wake up one day and, gee, I know for a fact I'm not gonna eat today. Was my thought.
Wow.
Uh, I had never gone 24 hours fasting. That when that happens, by the way. So the the next day I ate, not being hungry, but sort of a little bit scared that I had already gone almost 48 hours without eating.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started carnivore. I gave it 30 days and I felt like crap the whole time, but I had really solid results. And I realized, that it was going to be like keto flu and oxalate dumping later. So I stuck with it. And now it's almost 3 years. So,
I had a rash in my belly for about 4 months.
oh, okay.
All right. Terry, so how many sardines will you consume in a day? I can get a can or two. That's it.
When sardine fasting,
Yeah.
up to 6, but usually 3 or 4. I'll do like 2 at a time. But yeah, they are self-limiting. They're very filling.
Yeah. It's hard to have probably, 6. I I think the most I've had was 4. By the way, just even though this is not a commonly used word among our community, calories, but sometimes you have to assign something, and
Yeah.
what most people know is calories.
Yeah, for sure.
But a can of sardines in water has about 100 calories.
Yeah. And like 22 grams of protein.
Yeah. All right. And basically, if you're doing a sardine challenge, you eat. If you're hungry, you have a can, and you can have one or two at the same time, probably,
Yeah, you just eat
and
until you're
then
full.
wait until you're hungry again, and have a couple more. So each person is gonna have probably a different number.
Yep.
When I did my 3-day sardine fast or challenge, I did have 4 one day. I had 2 the next day. I had 1 on the third day, I think, and that was it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Haven't tried it for 3 days again since then. Okay.
Nice.
My son sent me a care package that was sardines from all over Spain and Portugal. They're freaking awesome.
Yeah, there's some I love Spain. I did the Camino. I biked it. It's 500 miles across Spain. And one of my best friends is from Spain. So I've spent a lot of time there. And man, they have some really good sardines.
And fish in general.
Mm-hmm.
Bacon runner. I plan on doing 2 cans a day once I eat up some steak and chicken that are already in my fridge. I've been eating 1 can per day since June 25 of this year. I agree with superfood. It is a superfood,
It truly is.
and I've been considering doing a prolonged, anywhere from 7 days or 14 days of sardines. But I have about 150 pounds of meat in my freezer. So
Oh my God, me too.
It's all beef.
Yeah, but it's frozen, so you can still do your sardine fast. You should do it in January or something. I think I'm going to do lion, but I think I'm going to do also a sardine fast to start the month.
Well, you know what? I am probably going to do it now until before Christmas, and I haven't decided how many days, but we'll see. I have about 10 cans, and of course,
I have a ton of cans.
Have supermarkets around, so.
Yep. There is an N of 1 experiment that I have been contemplating doing where I'd love to know what the minimum amount of seafood a person needs to consume in order to have their omegas be moderate to high. Because a lot of people don't like seafood, so like if they could eat seafood once a week or once every few, like would that be enough to move the needle? I think that would be really interesting.
And probably is enough if you're consuming a good amount. Some people worry with sardines about heavy metal toxicity and things like that, but there's a couple of reasons why sardines are perfect for that. And it could be any small fish, by the way, it could be mackerel. But small fish don't have a very long life, so they're not sucking up whatever heavy metals they are from water. It's difficult to farm them, so they are not. Sardines are always wild caught.
Right.
Okay? So you don't have to worry about the farming practices, fish farming, where they control what they feed, and they put even colorants in the feed to make the salmon, a pink color when it's not normally like that. So Um, I, I don't think I would worry about that unless you're planning to go 6 months on sardine challenge.
Well, I've actually tested both arsenic and mercury, mercury blood test and urine. Arsenic was a 24-hour urine collection, and it just doesn't go up. You're right. Small fish, they just don't accumulate the heavy metals like that. And I've heard from several sources that you have to consume like hundreds and hundreds of pounds of that per day, even salmon, tuna per day, in order to even start to approach any kind of heavy metal toxicity. So it's just not something I worry about anymore.
Hello, Lexi. She asked, do you guys think that BBBE or even Lion Diet will help me with my food issues, binging compared to regular carnivore? What do you think? I don't know. Are you familiar with Lexi's?
I am not.
Okay. So she's mentioning here that she has some problems with binging, among other things.
Yep.
What do you think?
I think sometimes it can be really great to strip your diet down to simplicity, and do that for a month or two to help with any kind of food issues, binging, food addiction, those kind of things. I love BBB and E. I have done several 1 month stints of just BBB and E in my carnivore journey, and I always feel a lot better. My ketones are really high, and I usually lose some fat. As far as Lion Diet, I have not done Lion yet for any extended period of time. I'm going to do, I think, a month in January. But from what I've heard, a lot of people talk about it can be really healing. So, yeah, I think it's worth a shot.
And since we were talking about sardines, I don't know, Lexi, if you like them or have tried them, but the simplicity of reducing what you're eating to just one thing sometimes helps with the binging issues, okay? Because you're not having all the choices that you could have. I never look at a carnivore diet as restrictive because
Right.
you do have a lot of choices when you think about it. But hey, try something like that for 7 days or 30 days, even if it's sardines, or maybe every other day, beef, sardines, beef, sardines.
Yeah, because the sardines have omegas and different, nutrient profile than beef, and both can be really helpful. So that could be fun.
All right. Tell me more about the book and how did you start thinking about writing the book and what was the purpose for that?
Sure. So I actually got an email from the publisher saying, "Hey, would you like to write a cookbook?" And it's funny because I had just been talking to Goran 2 weeks earlier that, like, man, I do not want to write a cookbook, because Courtney Luna had just finished writing hers and we had been talking, and she had said, "Oh man, it's so much work." I was like, "Oh, I don't want to do that." Then I got this email 2 weeks later from Victory Belt, who published Dr. Sean Baker's book, tons of Maria Emmerich's books, and Dr. Ken Berry's book. So I'm like, I have to take this email. I have to take this call. So when I got on the phone with them, I told them, I thought about it. Like, the book that I wanted to write was a complete in-depth guide to the carnivore diet. I wanted to be like the reference guide, an encyclopedia for carnivore. And then we could include recipes in it too, because that's part of it. And they were totally down for it. They've been a joy to work with. And I wrote it in about 6 months. And with Victory Belt, you have to take all your own photos too. So I did all the food photos, developed all the recipes, and wrote the front, 200 pages of the in-depth guide as well in about 6 months. And then we edited it, and it just came out within the past month. So I'm glad it's out, that it can hopefully, it's out in the world, and it can help as many people as humanly possible regain their metabolic health with carnivore.
And I think you accomplished both goals, because this is not just a recipe book.
Right.
Okay. It's basically half the book is recipes, and half the book is a how-to guide
Yeah.
and very specific steps, especially, and it's not only for a beginner, but for a beginner that's very helpful. And then to stay on track,
Yeah.
you talk about testing, and you talk about, the first 30 days and then 90 days, and so.
Yeah. There's a whole chapter on troubleshooting. So if and when you run into issues, you can go to chapter 5 and find what's going on and find actionable steps to help you move forward again. Chapter 8 is an entire chapter on monitoring your progress. Since Dr. Nelson calls me the queen of testing, I love blood work, DEXA scans, continuous glucose monitoring, ketones, arterial scans, all that kind of stuff. And I've learned so much over the past 3 years researching this on my own. But normal people don't have the time to do that. So I wanted to make sure everybody had all the functional medicine ranges they should be going for all of these tests, where to get them, how much they cost, how to read them, so that you can really take charge of your own metabolic health. Because in this day and age, you have to do that if you really want to get to where you want to go.
So let me ask you a very pointed question. Oh, you came in before I had the chance to introduce you, but anyways,
Hi.
who wrote the foreword for this book?
So my very good friend, Dr. Robert Kiltz, who has just joined us today. I love him to death. And I was so pleased that he agreed to write the foreword for me.
What timing. Perfect.
Man, impeccable.
I'm sorry I missed you guys. I was running late from the hospital and it was kind of crazy, snowy and all stuff. But
you're in New York.
home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Snowy, cold, windy, all those things. So
I have all that by me too.
yeah. It's all good. We love it.
I do, to a degree. We'll see each other in Florida soon.
I will see you soon. I can't wait to get down there for a holiday.
I know.
So, what have I missed? What have I missed?
You've
so
missed
much good
everything.
stuff. Everything, literally everything.
Goodbye.
It is no secret that I don't love the cold or the snow.
Yeah,
we do know that.
Yeah. We've talked about so many things, Dr. Kiltz. I'm gonna have to have you watch the replay.
Yeah,
I will. I just want to. I was like, oh, it's only 10 minutes, and I'm like, it's 8 minutes. I'm like, okay, I got to at least say hi and come on board to see my good friend, and hello to everyone, all my good friends here for sure.
I want to take this question since we're coming to top of the hour. And Lexi, I did know this, but I didn't want to say it unless you wanted to.
Sure.
So, Jenny, I managed to put my schizoaffective disorder into remission when I was consistent on keto and carnivore. I fell off, though, unfortunately, and it's been hard to get back on track.
Yeah.
So I'll ask you both this question. What do you suggest to Lexi about getting back on track? She was doing very good. I'm very aware of that.
Yeah.
And then she fell off. She says she put her schizoaffective disorder into remission, and now it's back to.
That's amazing. I mean, I feel like you know what to do. You know what worked for you. So the first thing is mindset. Don't beat yourself up about it. We all fall off the wagon. It's totally normal. We're human, and that's okay. The next thing is, I really like the idea of maybe simplifying it, like you talked about in your earlier comment, BBB and E or Lion, or even doing like a 3-day sardine fast, something to get you back on it. So make up your mind. I'm going to do this. Do something to get yourself back on track, and then keep the ball rolling. That would be my advice.
Dr. Kiltz.
I think
Jenny just mentioned mindset. Is that important?
Well, it was community and talking about what's going on. And I think we're all human beings, and we go off from time to time, and it's good to talk about it. And then I love journaling and reading. I do Christ-based teachings, and I'm working on a couple of new books right now. And I was working on something earlier today, and it's pretty normal. And I I think, finding something very simple, exactly what Jenny said, is so powerful. I go to raw, dry aged beef and salt and I keep that doing it. But we're all normal. We do it. This is the nature of humanity. We get up, we get down, we fall. Hopefully, we just keep on getting up and keep doing, and then talk about it in these groups, which is all of us are human. And then our brothers and sisters are all, hey, you're perfect. We love you. And, just get Ginny's cookbook and pick something there for sure. But, or pick and cook, right? It do that. But it is such an important thing that we're all here together. And that's why I started the 5 a.m. Meetup, by the way, because I needed consistency and a community that, like, oh, Kiltz, you're really going to do broccoli? What? Yeah, no. So,
like, no. Oh God, why?
No. But salmon. I just found someone gave me some oh my God, smoked salmon from like Norway that's
Nice.
in these packages I could keep on the shelf in my office, and I could just grab those things when something's going to go off. And then my other thing I do is I go to my supplement, my electrolyte supplement. That's sort of, and I'm working to get off coffee again. I don't know. I love coffee, but I was like,
it's
okay,
so good, but you're like,
it's
time.
so good. I don't know. But I go up and down, and I fall off, and I get back.
Yep.
And Coach Juliet Edens basically say high fat helped her immensely.
Yeah, definitely for mental health issues, for sure.
Butter. I just keep butter in my refrigerator at my office. Wherever I'm at, I keep butter, cream. I don't eat that many eggs, although I do love them. I just don't. Butter, cream, and a ribeye steak, or even some ground beef that I could just mix, put in the air fryer and black and blue. I put it in frozen so it stays blue.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Jenny, what is your take on dry fasting? This is Thomas, Target Prime Green.
Yeah, so I've never tried it, but I know Dr. Lisa Wiedemann has done a lot of experimentation with it, and she actually prefers it over water fasting. She says it's easier. So I would recommend checking out her channel.
All right. And for those who want to get your book, where do they go and find it?
Anywhere online that you purchase books. So Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Blackwell's if you're international. And there's a few others that you can go. And hopefully we're going to get it into every bookstore in America too. So if you do already have a copy, or you do pick up a copy and you love it, be sure to leave a review wherever you purchase it so that we can get it pushed out to more people.
That's very important, because that helps their algorithm of suggesting books to people. So
exactly.
If you buy it, definitely leave a review.
It has great pictures, and it is so comprehensive, and it's the coffee table carnivore book that everyone should have. I highly recommend it. It is entertaining and also educational. And there's so many people that are curious about carnivore. This is the book.
Thank you. I appreciate it. That's what I endeavored to write, and I'm hopeful that it'll help as many people as humanly possible, because that's what we need. We need everybody in America and the world at optimal baseline metabolic health.
And I was serious when I said half the book is recipes, the other half is not. Look at this. This is I'm where the recipes start, and it's pretty much half and half of the book.
It's basically two books in one. You get two books for the price of one.
Jenny, are you traveling the world, or traveling to sign books and things like that? How's that going?
Currently, no. We're at home right now for the holidays, but we'll be back down in Florida. And then I'm hoping to be at the Symposium for Metabolic Health in Boca, which I know you're going to be at, but just attending. I love to go to those to learn. As far as book signing related stuff, I think the next time will probably either be COSI in March or Meat Stock in May.
Are you going to be in Tampa for the February meetup? Do you know about that one yet?
I don't know yet, but I've been talking to
okay.
Alia about it. We need to be home for a week
Okay.
in the beginning of February, then we might be back down. So we'll see.
Well, if you come, and we'd love you to be there signing some books if you make it.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, I'll talk to her. We're in
7
contact.
of
We email all the
February.
time. Yeah, cool.
Nice.
Sweet.
All right. So it's 4:00. Just have a good day, everyone. 5:30, we have a Zoom call within the community. Sign up for the Kiltz Tribe. If you're not a member, it's free. It's always been free, and it's always going to be free. And eat meat. Have a good day.
Have a good one.